And it's a shame that it's happening to Floyd Mayweather. It's a shame that it's been happening for years to not only athletes, but celebrities or people who are making tons of money because they're not managing their circle. They're not managing their life, you know? And it's your circle that's all important. You must hire people. If you're going to hire people that are going to look out for your money and you're going to trust those people, well, you better check the checker. You know, the checker checks the checker.
At the end of it, I think he's gotten some bad advice. I think he's been led into some things that, you know, he didn't necessarily agree to.
Floyd does not have all of his properties. Now, if he means homes that he owns, then okay, sure. But he's also had to sell a lot of those homes to pay back loans that he made against said houses and other assets or liens that were against him with the IRS. This dude cannot stop lying. He also said, I don't owe anybody anything, or my bills are all paid.
Oscar De La Hoya took a jab at Floyd Mayweather over his reported $7.3 million IRS debt, describing the situation as unfortunate considering the enormous fortune Floyd accumulated during his career. De La Hoya suggested that questionable financial choices and surrounding himself with the wrong people could have contributed to Mayweather's reported financial troubles.
Absolutely. Look, and it's funny you bring that up because I was thinking about a new segment that I want to come out with, giving advice to fighters or giving advice to athletes who come across a lot of money. And then what do you do with it? Then you have to hire people, you have to hire lawyers, you have to hire agents. So now you have all these people around you, right? And sometimes, and most likely, you hire people that eventually...
Can I say this to the person that's in my DM and say, Rose, you better make better moves or end up like Mayweather? First and foremost, do you actually believe Floyd Mayweather is broke? Do you? Do you? Let me make this clear right now.
De La Hoya also believes Floyd should have exercised greater caution when deciding who to trust with his finances. When someone has accumulated that level of wealth, having reliable and trustworthy professionals around them becomes extremely important. He argues that Mayweather needed a dependable team that could properly manage his money and protect the fortune he had built.
If I'm going to hire somebody who's going to look out for my finances, I've had my finance guy for 25 years, the same guy. And there's a reason for that, because somebody else is checking him and somebody else is checking that other guy. So you have to be smart.
I know for a fact Floyd Mayweather not broke because Ricky Rose would give and put $50 million up to Floyd Mayweather, $50 million up to Gervonta Davis, aka Tank, and I would book the Hard Rock Stadium myself. If Mayweather needed that 50, we can make that happen.
Floyd Mayweather Jr. is reportedly dealing with a $7.3 million federal tax lien from the IRS in Las Vegas, reportedly connected to unpaid taxes from 2018 and 2023. The matter comes while he is also dealing with other legal disputes. Although Mayweather's legal representatives have rejected suggestions that he is experiencing severe financial problems, Bob Arum, Music, said he was saddened by the situation, describing Mayweather as an exceptional fighter and a music genius who accumulated an enormous fortune. For Arum, watching someone who reached that level of financial success encounter tax problems is particularly disappointing.
You know, Floyd had a great career. He made a lot of money. But in his mind, that made him a great genius, great business genius, great genius in life. And because he overrated life, he ran out of money. You can't, no matter how much money you have, you can't have 2 big planes, 10 security guards. It's going to cost you money. I mean, so again, I'm really sad to see that happen, but hopefully he'll get out of it. Hopefully he'll get...
I gave the sport a lot of blood, sweat, and tears to get to this point. So, you know, I'm very, very thankful for the support from people from all around the world, people from all walks of life, And, you know, I like going out having fun.
Dana White and Floyd Mayweather have collaborated in the past, and White has now spoken about the reports concerning Floyd's financial situation. White expressed sympathy for what Mayweather might be experiencing and even indicated that he could possibly offer some assistance. White, music, explained that when someone works as hard as Floyd did, builds that level of wealth, and then potentially loses it, has it stolen, or faces whatever circumstances are involved, it is extremely unfortunate. He noted that situations like this happen frequently in professional sports and that anything is possible. White added that perhaps something could be done to music help Floyd work through the situation. Meanwhile, former Showtime executive Steven Espinosa has responded to reports alleging that Showtime owes Mayweather $340 million. Espinosa suggested that poor financial guidance could have contributed to Floyd's current circumstances, pointing to questionable advice and financial management from people, music, within his inner circle as possible reason for the problems now surrounding him.
Going through your mind, did you immediately call Floyd or what?
I didn't, because it's, at that point, you sort of assume like he knows what's going on, like this doesn't happen in his name without him knowing about it.
Yes.
So no, like I didn't think that there was a whole lot of point like saying, hey, what is this? Yeah. It's like, all right, it speaks for itself. All right, that's what we're doing now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's what we're doing. So
so do you think that Floyd realized, okay, I'm missing money, I owe money, where's my money at? And he just had to sue everyone involved? Or someone is telling him, I think it was Showtime, or I think it was this person, your former manager, your former this.
I think they're two different situations. Like everyone sort of saw the two lawsuits and say, okay, they're the same thing. I think someone told him you should sue Showtime.
Because of his long professional relationship with Floyd through Showtime music, Espinosa says he had first-hand familiarity with both Mayweather's boxing career and the business operations connected to it. He added that if he had been involved in the legal dispute, he would have attempted to help Floyd rather than simply stand by and watch. Their many years of working music together, according to Espinosa, gave him enough understanding to recognize the history behind the disagreement and the circumstances that ultimately resulted in the lawsuit.
May. Yeah. Whatever it's due mid-June.
Right.
And then you send your money in and then they don't report it back to us till July. Right. So all of a sudden at the earliest that we see it is a couple months later. But then there's also, there's sort of middlemen in between that this guy has to report to this company because, for example, if you've got Comcast or Charter or some of these, there's local systems that report to the main company and then the main company reports to Showtime. So there's sort of delays along the line. And it's a crazy system because it wasn't unusual that 6 months, 12 months down the road, like all of a sudden we get a big check from DirecTV or satellite company just because money was delayed and they just found.
Controversy involving people from Mayweather's former business circle continues to expand. On-site media reported on X that the head of Manny Pacquiao's promotion company has filed an $8.30 million lawsuit against Floyd's former manager, accusing him of fraud and theft. The allegation introduces yet another financial dispute involving individuals previously connected to Mayweather's boxing career. Wade Plemons has also raised questions about how effectively Floyd has handled the wealth he built outside music, the ring. Plemons notes that Mayweather's reputation as a nearly unbeatable fighter encouraged bettors to risk enormous amounts of money on his victories. In his music view, there is an interesting contrast between people trusting their own fortunes to Floyd's success while questions continue surrounding the way he managed his personal wealth. Plemons ultimately argues that Mayweather's greatest financial accomplishments came from boxing itself, music, rather than from his business ventures outside the sport.
He's been accused in lawsuits of failing to pay for millions of dollars worth of luxury items, including watches and high-end jewelry, allegations he has disputed. Well, not just allegations anymore. He's being charged with 2 felonies for not paying for, or at least writing a bad check for, a watch in Vegas as well. So on all fronts here, Floyd Mayweather is flat out lying, saying, well, my properties are paid for. Again, if he's talking about his houses, sure, your houses are still there, even though, again, he sold 2 houses in Beverly Hills and in Miami to pay 2 of his real estate partners. So why lie about it when we have the proof? It's there. Why? I don't understand. Floyd used to be able, and this, by the way, shout out to Spencer Cornelia, because he hit this right on the head. He nailed this. Pause. He said that Floyd will do this where he will create a narrative, and because he is a massive superstar, his words are taken as truth. When in reality, we now have the truth. The burden of truth is on Floyd to show.
Clemens believes Mayweather's achievements outside the boxing world have never reached the same level as what he accomplished inside the ring. He says that does not necessarily diminish Floyd's career because boxing was clearly his greatest strength, and music, the area where he achieved the most success. Clemens also highlights a confidence bettor's place in Mayweather, explaining that his reputation as a reliable winner allowed people to wager enormous sums while accepting comparatively modest returns. His larger argument is that Floyd demonstrated an extraordinary talent for generating huge amounts of money through boxing. However, questions continue to surround how effectively that fortune was managed after it was earned.
More probability that they get that money back and some than Floyd pulling out equity in his home to take out a loan to try to pay somebody back, or using his home as collateral to take out a loan to then not pay the person back. That's the most true thing about Floyd Mayweather's entire career. He is the best boxer of this current day and age, and it's the one thing he's done better than anything ever in business. Anything. He has not run any successful business. He has not made any more money than when he is in that squared circle. Point blank, period. And that's not a bad thing. That's just what he's best at. But Floyd Money Mayweather, the only time that money comes into play is when he's...
Floyd Mayweather continues to push back against claims that he is dealing with major financial difficulties, maintaining that his financial responsibilities remain under control. In a recent interview, he explained that he still owns his homes and continues to have everything in place, with his family's expenses and bills being covered. Floyd emphasized that none of his properties have been taken away and that the people who rely on him, including relatives and employees, are still receiving their payments. By pointing to his homes, family obligations, and business responsibilities, Mayweather argues that his finances remain stable despite the speculation surrounding him.
So a lot of people are saying you're doing this just cause of the money. Is it just cause money, or just what you want to do?
Well, as you know, I mean, nobody has taken none of my properties away from me.
Right. So is it true? One more question. I'm gonna let you finish.
Oh yeah, you're talking about the paper.
No.
Let's go back to that to the paper.
Right.
You know, I was thinking about something, right?
Yeah. You doing better than Frank.
And a lot of times. No, hold on. Let me film it.
Yeah.
Okay, so check this out.
Yeah.
Now, when you really think about this, right? Mm-hmm. We got our people, meaning the black community.
Yeah.
These people have been paying money for years to come see me fight.
Yeah.
These people will put equity out of their house, bet their life savings, and they bet it on Floyd because I've proved that I'm 100% when I get in that ring.
However, the lawsuit and tax record appear to present a far more complicated situation. A federal tax lien gives the U.S. government a legal claim against Mayweather's property, music, until the unpaid tax obligation is resolved. This is also not the first reported conflict he has had with the IRS. Mayweather previously faced a reported $22.5 million music lien connected to his 2015 taxes, along with another lien reportedly worth approximately $7.2 million tied to his 2010 tax obligations. The latest development comes as scrutiny surrounding Floyd's finances continues to grow, with his career earnings estimated at roughly $1.1 billion. According to a social media post, by late April 2026, the IRS had reportedly notified Mayweather that his U.S. passport could be revoked because of more than $7.25 million in unpaid music federal taxes from 2018 and 2023. The IRS reportedly filed the newest lien in Las Vegas a month before, giving the government a legal interest in his property while the debt, music, remains unresolved. Cam Newton has also commented on Mayweather's financial habits, questioning music, how a fighter who earns such enormous amounts could reportedly run into money problems. Newton points to Floyd's costly lifestyle, including designer clothing, luxury purchases, automobiles, jewelry, travel, and various business ventures. He also mentions reports claiming Mayweather has spent as much as $500,000 in a single day, raising questions about whether such an extreme spending pattern can realistically continue over the long term.
Pretty Boy Floyd to Money Mayweather, it don't matter who he identified himself to be. My question comes as I look at his career, I don't want to talk about the earnings because that's not something that I want to point out. I don't even want to talk about the splurging because he gave off this lifestyle that was not realistic for a lot of people to obtain.
Yes.
My question is, why hasn't he ever aligned with a brand? Or let's flip it. Why hasn't a brand ever aligned with him? I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
So when you think about boxing,
Okay.
names that come to fruition come to mention is Oscar De La Hoya.
Yep.
Oscar De La Hoya is the face or the owner, creator, CEO of Golden Boy Promotions. Well, Mayweather Promotions, not a lot of people have aligned with that. You got Devin Haney that has spoke bitter